Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where you live around the world. As I said in the previous video, which I ended moments earlier, I might as well go ahead and create the shorter legged version. I might create the two, the one which is ridiculously short by lifting the plane upon which we'll create our point here for our leg. We'll lift it up right up to this level here, and then the halfway point of that length there. So, did you follow that? Okay, so the easiest thing to do is all we do is delete that. And this is why I like this approach. I don't have to do anything up here. It's already independent of our leg. So long as this is a functional geodesic structure, why not use it? Is it ideal? Probably not. But is it adequate for what we want? Hope so. Right. We'll make the squat one first because that's very easy. But you'll find that when I do, well, you're going to find out, well, I know what's going to happen. And I suggest that because I've done other things that have had the same outcome, and you think, oh, that'd be a good idea. And then you look at it from a different angle and you go, oh, bad idea. Okay, anyway, less waffle, more action. I lift that to the point where I said that level there is what we're looking at using. So I put my triangle in for the leg, make that a group, and I say, wow, that's really squat. You're not going to get much headroom for that, for this area here. Let's look at it on the side. Well, we might have lucked in on this one, but if I put a guideline from the apex there to the midpoint there, no, we've lucked in. And it might be actually really good. When we luck out, that guideline will penetrate the surface, which means that this is actually concave. And it's the last thing we want for a leg, is for it to be concave. We want to have the outside convex, because concave would mean the structure would collapse. Even now, it being straight, well, pretty much straight, means that this would want to be constructed, I suggest, differently to make it strong enough to take the loads. There's not enough convexness, this is no such word, but if you need a convex shape to give it some sort of strength or the ability to redirect the energy. Here, all the moment of rotation is around this point here, the load is going to be quite high in this direction here. Yes, you could drop a wee strut down there in the wee corner and make this a more robust, which I'll do, a more robust structure. And there's nothing saying that you can't do that. So you could make that a component upon which this could land. That'll be fine. You could also, to be fair, create this structure in a slightly different form. Now it's just there, up, it's ditto there, and create a bit of a pedestal. There's nothing to say that you couldn't do that. Would I do that? Yeah, I probably would actually. I'd actually try and make this exactly in line with this face, and that becomes literally a pedestal upon which this could land. Nothing saying that can't be done. Equally, I'm just waffling here. Just undo that, get back to our triangle. It's nothing to say that we just use two posts there. Get rid of this completely. Have a post there. And that could be replicated, another one put down there. This could be the hold down points for the for the roof. In fact, that's probably not a bad idea. In a lot of circumstances, it could be more aesthetically aligned with what you want. So you make them as long as you want. There's your roof. You're done. Might actually draw a couple of pictures like that. It's just not a bad idea. Never thought of doing it that way until just now. Right, the waffle is coming to an end. Right, we'll lower this to the point. Now I don't know why it does this. It did it on me the other day as well. I go out there, combine. I literally do not know why it does that. It pops it up higher. I've got obviously inferencing the movement in some manner that the software is confused by me. Like a lot of the people I know, they get quite confused by me. Hell, I confuse myself. Right. There we've got that convex structure. We generated that simply from where the rotated circle is. It doesn't work up here. It's just one of those things. Heath Robinson, it works. I'm happy. Okay, so did I say, yes, I save those or group those surfaces. I move this out. I'll move it out. Sorry for zooming in and out there, but I'll group these, make a group, rotate 90 degrees, which I type in the bottom, enter times 3, gives me my 4 quadrants. Get rid of the guides. And again, this will look identical to this other than these points, but you won't tell the difference. Won't be able to tell the difference. Not from the plan, at least, because they are physically identical in plan. They just got different dimensions in elevation. So, plan. Let's see whether I can get a shot of the two of them. How am I? Oh, well, you can actually see the difference there, but as we come round, why can't I get that? Yeah, well, there we go. They are identical in the top, as we know, different in the leg, as we know, and therefore the only difference you have to in the decision to make is to choose which one you want to have. Okay, unhide. I must have moved the. I'll move that and that out of the way. Move it back 12 meters. And I'll pause for a moment because again the video is a lot long, was getting longer than I was anticipating, so I'll be back in a tick. Well, there was the tick, and what I've done here is I copied this surface, rotated it through the line of intersection here, and moved it down so it would generate itself to that point. Of course, it hasn't reached that point, but that's where the line would generate. So in theory, if I lifted this up, it should have reached, whoops, sorry for that, zoom in and out, this point here. That it doesn't means that this will not be in plane with the other points of the dome. So it needs rotating such that it does come out to this point, and that's just a function of figuring out how to do that, lifting this up, the intersection point, etc, etc. So I thought I'd done it, but obviously I had misaligned it for some strange reason. Anyway, the point being, this little beauty, which was copied off of the other surface, is all but the identical shape and size of the other surface that we use for the leg, which was generated off the halfway point of this here. Now there may be, like, well, oh, that's obvious, David. Well, may well be, but it's just the way we've drawn it, because we generate this off of the surfaces themselves. But you can see that the idea has been resolved. I don't need to worry about it, so I don't have to worry about this triangle, this surface, being used as a leg, because it is within a few millimeters or centimeters at least of the leg as generated by our the way we use the these surfaces to create the structure. Oh boy, did you follow that? So we don't have to worry about it. So that is one avenue of creation of this dome that we can now exhaust. Okay, that's it. Was it of any help? No idea. Hopefully it was. Okay, bye.